Over the course of F1's history, there have been many dramatic moments. Here are 5 of the craziest race finishes ever. 2008 Brazilian Grand Prix. Coming into the final round of the 2008 season, Lewis Hamilton led Felipe Massa at the top of the championship, knowing a 5th place finished or higher would win him the championship at Interlagos. It was Felipe Massa who had put his Ferrari on pole position, with Hamilton qualifying in 4th position for the race. The race start was delayed by 10 minutes due to a heavy rainstorm that hit the track, just before the race was due to start. When the race did get underway, Massa led comfortably.
Here, right now, Massa on the left, Trulli on the right, look out for Hamilton on the pit wall side. It's a cautious getaway from Hamilton. He's running down, Raikkonen is in front of him, and you can see that Alonso has not been able to make ground on him. Vettel isn't going to take any chances.
As the track dried, every driver pitted onto dry tyres, and during this, Lewis Hamilton dropped from 4th to 6th place. Towards the end of the race, Massa was still comfortably leading, and Hamilton had made his way up to 4th position, but was being caught by Sebastian Vettel in a Toro Rosso. On lap 63, rain began to fall again, and by lap 66, the top 5 had all pitted for intermediate tyres. Timo Glock, however, decided to stay out on his dry tyres, jumping from 7th to 4th in the process. This left Hamilton in 5th in a championship winning position, but still being caught by Sebastian Vettel. Then, on lap 69,
unlapping himself. He would argue
Hamilton
he's entitled to do that. Hamilton lets him through. So he's got Hamilton wide. Oh my goodness me! Vettel's taken the place, and that could cost Hamilton the World Championship. It's now raining hard, and that means Glock is going to be in trouble. He's in 4th place, and with just 2 laps to go, the question now is, can Timo Glock in the Toyota keep it on the island?
Massa crossed the line to win the race and surely win the championship. Until...
And we wait now to find out who will be the world champion of 2008. Can Hamilton do anything? Can he run it up the inside of Vettel? Only a few corners to go now, and desperation starts to creep in for Lewis Hamilton.
Raikkonen's 3rd. And is that Glock? Is that Glock going slowly?
It is, it's Glock! Oh my goodness me! Hamilton's back in position again. 100,000 local hearts sink in the grandstands. It's handed the place back to Hamilton. He comes through, and if I'm absolutely right, I'm sure that he is going to claim 5th place, which is all he needs to do to become the 2008 Formula One World Champion, Lewis Hamilton. And you will... Well, the Ferrari boys are celebrating.
They both think they've won it.
Ferrari are wrong. They're absolutely wrong. Hamilton's finished 5th, and Lewis, the father...
One of the most famous moments there in Formula 1 history, and for good reason. And what a dramatic way to clinch your first ever F1 title. 2016 Austrian Grand Prix. Nico Rosberg led the World Championship coming into the Grand Prix, with Mercedes teammate Lewis Hamilton in 2nd. Lewis Hamilton started the race on pole position, with Mercedes teammate Nico Rosberg starting 7th after a 5-place grid penalty. Hamilton led comfortably from the start until the first stop, when a slow pit stop allowed his teammate Nico Rosberg, who had been making great progress, to undercut him and lead the race.
At the rear, the left rear, something wasn't quite right, and as Hamilton makes his way down the pit lane, Nico Rosberg has just flashed past our commentary box at a rate of knots. There he goes. Nico Rosberg overtakes his teammate Lewis Hamilton.
Soon after, a dramatic Sebastian Vettel puncture caused a safety car, and after the restart, Rosberg pulled away, leading Hamilton by 2 seconds. After the final round of pit stops, the gap remained the same, and this was when Hamilton started to gradually catch teammate Rosberg. On the final lap of the race, coming out of turn 1, Hamilton got a great run on his teammate.
By another 20 laps, because it's been absolutely fantastic from start right up to this moment as we head in to the final lap of this race. Nico Rosberg, who started from 6th on the grid, heads his teammate by 0.6 of a second, who started on pole. Rosberg never won a Grand Prix from outside the top 3.
Hey, look at this, this is close. Hamilton got a fantastic drive out of turn 1.
So here he goes then. Is this hammer time? Lewis Hamilton wheel to wheel with Nico Rosberg in towards turn 2. His teammate's got the inside line. They've touched again. Hamilton runs wide, and is he going to come onto the track and touch his teammate? He's now got damage. Nico Rosberg to his front wing. Bits of carbon fibre are showering the track.
After the race, the stewards deemed Rosberg to be at fault for the collision and gave him a 10-second penalty. This was Lewis Hamilton's immediate reaction.
What was that happened? To turn, two laps, come in,
I mean, I tried to he made a mistake into turn 1.
Yeah.
And so I had an opportunity to go down the outside into turn 2. I left a lot of room on the inside, and I guess he locked up and crashed into me. So I think he had a problem with his brakes potentially, though.
Did you consider maybe to say, who's
I'm here
out
to
of
win.
the... Yeah?
I'm here to win.
Yeah, okay.
That's all.
That's all. That's
1997 Hungarian Grand Prix. 1996 F1 World Champion Damon Hill was ousted by Williams for the 1997 season, leaving him with few options for a drive into 1997. He eventually signed with Arrows, and coming into the Hungarian Grand Prix he was 17th in the championship. Remarkably, for the 1997 Hungarian Grand Prix, he managed to qualify third, with only former Williams teammate Jacques Villeneuve in second and Michael Schumacher on pole.
Pause. Go in Hungary. Schumacher leads and Damon Hill passes Villeneuve. And Eddie Irvine is up into third position. Damon Hill moves across and blocks him. Häkkinen is up.
Unbelievably, Hill got into second off the start and then passed Michael Schumacher on lap 11 to lead the race in an Arrows.
You have to follow the leader, but sooner or later you say, right, I've got to make a move now or never. And look how quick Hill is coming out of that last corner. Yes, Damon Hill almost looked as though he nudged the Ferrari. Move over, you can feel him saying in the cockpit, I'm going through, and Damon Hill leads. Oh boy, Damon Hill goes into the lead of the Hungarian Grand Prix.
After this, Hill used all of his experience to build a gap of 35 seconds to second place Jacques Villeneuve, until 3 laps from the end, heartbreak struck for Hill. His Arrows had suffered a hydraulic issue, causing the gearbox to be stuck in third gear. Hill was still leading, but started losing time dramatically to second place Jacques Villeneuve, and then on the final lap, he was passed by Villeneuve, but not without putting up a fight.
Much time. Gerhard Berger, who was 9th position and lapped, goes past Damon Hill, who's into the last 2 miles of the Hungarian Grand Prix, with Jacques Villeneuve burying his throttle and obliterating the space between right behind the two. Him, look. Here comes Villeneuve. Villeneuve's going to take the lead. Villeneuve is going to win the Hungarian Grand Prix. Oh, Damon, the whole of the world's heart will go. Villeneuve.
This was by far the closest Hill would come to a race win for Arrows, and he joined Jordan for the 1998 season. 2005 Japanese Grand Prix. In a wet qualifying, Ralf Schumacher took pole, with Jenson Button and Giancarlo Fisichella completing the top 3. McLaren's Kimi Raikkonen started 17th for this dramatic race.
To finish the race, look at that. Other drivers think he's probably on fire. He isn't. Here come the lights then. When they go out, we'll be racing at Suzuka. And it's go! Cracking start by Coulthard. Look at him coming through the middle. He's already in front of Sato. Fisichella is in front of Button.
Schumacher retained the lead from the start, with Giancarlo Fisichella moving up to second place. Ralph pitted early, committing himself to a 3-stop and effectively ruling him out of the race victory. Fisichella inherited the lead and continued to lead until his pit stop. It was Kimi Raikkonen who would then lead until his final pit stop on lap 45, after he had made an impressive start and got through the field very well. After emerging from the pit, Kimi Raikkonen had blistering pace, catching Fisichella by 1.3 seconds a lap, and was right on the back of him coming on to the final lap of the race.
Power these things have got begins to pull away. Look at Raikkonen, he's just all over him like a rash. He's got so much more grip and balance and confidence. But this is the exit of Spoon again then, and Fisichella up the inside. He's now moved to the outside, the racing line, and Raikkonen is absolutely hauling him in. And again, he goes defensive when he doesn't need to. It puts him out of shape then for the exit then, as we saw earlier on. Has he got enough traction to keep the McLaren behind him? He's really left himself to be a sitting target now. He'll have to go defensive down the inside. He'll have to go tighter than that. Oh, and they nearly touched. Can Raikkonen sweep in? Yes, he can. Brilliant.
What a brilliant move! Side by side down the straight. Grand Prix race. racing at its absolute finest. Kimi Raikkonen sweeps through.
That excellent move by Kimi Raikkonen kept McLaren's Constructors' Championship hopes alive, and what a way to win from 17th on the grid. 1991 Canadian Grand Prix. It was Riccardo Patrese who would line up on pole for the 5th race of the 1991 season ahead of Williams teammate Nigel Mansell. Mansell jumped Patrese at the start and led every single lap, dominating the rest of the field. This was until on the final lap, he started waving to the crowd going round the final hairpin.
Got the straight alongside the Olympic rowing strip with the lake on his right to go through and complete lap 69 to victory in Canada. And he's going to beat Nelson Piquet by some 50 seconds. He's taking the hairpin very... He's stopping! Nigel Mansell, just a few hundred yards from the flag on the last lap. He's stopping, he's banging his steering wheel in frustration. Something has happened. It looks as though he's out of the race.
It looks like he might be out of fuel. But he seemed to be looking down as he came to the hairpin, which is, of course, where his controls of the gearbox are. And that's been the Achilles heel. But fuel, it could be. It's high on fuel, the consumption of the circuit.
Nelson Piquet is going to win in Canada. He won in Japan last year. He won in Australia last year. That was in the old Benetton. Here he is. Here is Nelson Piquet. Now, when he passes Nigel Mansell, and he's going to very shortly, it will be on his way to win an astounding last lap development at Montreal. And Nelson Piquet is going to make it 3 victories in a very short time, which means to say that Stefano Modena there comes up into 2nd place. Well, here's Piquet. He is almost home now. He's going to pass. He passes Mansell's Williams.
Mansell's Williams had come to a halt because he failed to keep the revs high enough for the gearbox, so it got stuck in neutral. How embarrassing. Here's Frank Williams talking about that day later on.
They just brought the car back, and as often happens in motor racing, the thing fired up and all the gears are there. So some electronic problem, probably due to some type of overheating.
Thank you for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed it. And if you think I missed any in the comments, let me know, and I'll do a part 2 if there's enough demand for it. Also, it would really help me out if you could subscribe to my channel. So if you enjoyed the video and want to see more content like it, then be sure to subscribe.